All right, everybody, welcome out to another episode of Windshield Time at Mountain Land Supply. I'm Joey. As always, I'm here with our CEO, Brandon.
Hey, good morning, everyone.
Today, we got a couple things going on. You will be listening to this toward the end of December, the beginning of January. So we thought, what better thing to talk about than setting new goals for the new year? We're going to also, this little teaser alert, we're going to talk about our share price from last year.
Yep.
So Brandon will be talking about that at the end of this episode after we kind of go over a little bit of kind of what goal setting means to us here at Mountain Land and what it can mean to us as individuals. So we'll just kind of get started with that. One thing that I think is overused is New Year's resolutions. Because I don't know. I'm a skeptic with it, I guess. I don't know that they work. I love EOS at the company because it's short-term 90-day goals. And
Yeah.
I think those are achievable because, you know, I personally can see a little bit better 3 months in the future than I can 12 months. And I think that setting goals for, you know, the 90 days is a lot easier for me than setting a goal for 12 months. I don't know. How do you feel about it?
I'm along the same lines because goal setting should be something that you're continuously doing.
Yeah.
In my opinion, and we implement that here at the business side. If we at the beginning of the year, now we do go through a process where we do annual goals for the company. Now that happens actually not around this time. It actually happens around August, where we do our 2-day annual. Just our executive team, we lock ourselves in a room from 8 until 5 and for 2 days straight. And by the end of that, my mind's it's fried. But we do go through that process. So it is important to have some kind of a annual goal. But I think it's very short-sighted to think that you're going to be able to set this annual goal and not set anything smaller to be able to get you or help you achieve that goal throughout the year. Yeah. To think that I can set a goal here and in the year I'm going to achieve it without anything in between, I think is really difficult to do. And so I do like the 90-day, and from the business side, we do implement that. And what's really cool is we talk about EOS, and we've even learned from different people that implement EOS that there's actually a personal one, right?
Yep.
We've talked about the VTO, the Vision Traction Organizer. There's actually one out there that's for your own family, personal VTO that you could put out there. And it kind of incorporates those same principles. And me personally, I like to, like when I with my wife and I, we set goals, right? And we do it's more of a shorter time period that we look at that instead. And, right now for our New Year's resolution, there's always things that you can improve on. And we didn't correlate it with the new year, but we did some goals probably about a month ago that were like, okay, at the end of, the Q1 of 2024. And yes, I do use that with my wife, and because I'm a financial guy, right? So I have to use those terminology with her, but, it's there. We have goals of this is, certain things that we want to be a little bit better in this area or that area, whatever it is. And so it's a good process to be able to implement. Being here at the business and learning EOS, I think that it's helped me personally. Yeah. On my personal side too.
Yeah, I love the spirit of it. I think it's awesome that the beginning of the year there's always a renewed vigor for people to set goals. And I used to, I now have a gym at my house, but when I didn't and I was working out at the gym, it was freaking packed. Yeah. So I hated the first of the year because you're packed for the first 3 weeks. You can't get any machines. You got to change the time that you go there, and after those first 3 weeks, magically it dries up, and you're like, we're back to normal again, right? Yeah. So I think the problem with goal setting is that people get really ambitious, and we talk about the BHAGs, right? The big, hairy, audacious goals. I think people get really excited at the first of the year. They're like, oh man, I'm going to do it this year. This is the year for me. It's the year of Joey, And
isn't it always the year of Joey?
Let's
throw that out there.
Usually.
Okay.
But I think people get really enthusiastic about it, which is awesome. Yeah. But enthusiasm only lasts so long. Discipline has to come in after that. And I think that's what's good about the short-term goals, or at least if you have a long-term goal, you have to break it into those milestones, those smaller pieces. If you have a 12-month goal and where you want to be in 12 months, that's awesome. but where are you going to be in 90 days to get to that 12 months?
Yep.
And that's the discipline that EOS and, a lot of different people in their systems teach you, is put it into something that you can see from here, and where are you going to, how are you going to chop that goal up so that you can get to something that is attainable in the next 90 days or so.
And that's a trait of successful people.
Yeah.
Right. When with goal setting and being able to achieve those goals.
Yeah.
So I totally agree. And just even without even going through that process, just, the hard knocks, the experience of doing it, I've just realized over the years that that's what it takes as well. And so we've done it, my wife and I, in our personal life. We've done that, and, it can be a financial, it could be a family, family dynamic that we're looking at, whatever it is. Often we sit down probably quarterly and just say, okay, where do we want to be in the next few months? Yeah. Here's where it's going. And so it just takes discipline to do it.
It does. There's, in EOS at the company, we have the rocks that we set for 90 days. And if you guys don't know, a rock is based on kind of an object lesson where you have a jar and you're trying to fit, large rocks, small rocks, pebbles, and sand in it, and then water. And you have an equal amount of each of them.
Next time, can we have you do that on your desk?
I really should have done that, yeah. But
Make a
visualize this for just a minute. So if you try and put the sand in, then the water, then the pebbles, there's no room for the big rocks or the small rocks.
Yeah.
But if you put the big rocks in first, and then the smaller rocks, and then the pebbles, and then the sand, and then the water, there's room for everything.
Yeah, you still get the same amount in there.
Yeah. So that's the idea behind even the word rock, is that you take care of those big things, and the smaller things fall into place. And I love that concept, and it is true in actuality and in practice. Because if you take care of, if you had a goal to lose weight, well, one of your big rocks is you need to set a workout schedule, or you need to set a diet, or you need to set, a walking schedule, movement schedule. That's your rock. You have to do that first. Otherwise, the rest of it doesn't even come into play.
Yeah.
And so with that concept at our company, if we do the bigger things and we focus on those bigger things, a lot of times the smaller things fall into place because they will happen just by fruition.
Yeah, and the smaller stuff is everyday stuff.
Yeah.
That's going to fill in. And if what I've learned, and Joey, I know we've talked about this too, if you don't plan it out, if you don't take control of it, those little things will take over your life.
Oh, all consuming.
And we were just barely talking before we started recording about this week. And Joey and I talked about it because this past quarter for us has been really stressful. There's been a lot going on, and there's been a lot of travel for us and things of that nature. And so with this leading up to the holiday season and everything like that, we kind of just said, hey, we're going to kind of black this out and say we're going to keep it really low key and make sure that we have enough time to be able to do those things with our family, with our kids, things of that nature. And so we didn't plan anything in there. And what happens?
Your calendar takes control.
Man, everything. We were just saying that this week, that's supposed to be the low-key week, has been one of the busiest weeks. Yeah. Again, because you just let those things take over and fill in.
And you continue to say yes.
Yep.
And I think a lot of like the thieves of your time are you saying yes to everything.
Yeah.
And you have to remember that there's power in the word no.
I think there's, for me, this past week there's a lot of things that I've maybe neglected
or overlooked.
Yeah, because I've been doing so many other things. And so this is, I'm catching up.
You got to pay the piper.
I'm catching up with some, meetings and meeting with people that I've kind of pushed off, or I haven't spent the right amount of time with that I needed to, but still fitting in the family things, which are important too as well. We got to always remember that. But those little things, it's the same exact principle, right? You got to make sure that you clearly define those things that you want to get done. And let's make sure we're working on those. And then that's the priority. And then everything else can fill in the rest of it. And like the analogy is, you'll have time for everything.
Yeah.
You can make it.
Yep.
But you got to always just keep those priorities in sight.
I love the mantra of, I have just enough time for everything that's important.
Bingo.
I can't remember who brought that to us a few years ago, but that to me is very powerful, because it's like, you know what? If it doesn't get done, it wasn't meant to.
Yeah.
If I'm being intentional with my time and I'm goal setting and I'm doing the things that I should be, then the things that fall away more than likely weren't the most important things.
Yep.
And yeah, it's probably, I don't know, flipping through Instagram for an extra 25 minutes for me, you know.
For me, it's watching the airplane videos. I don't know why. I love watching those.
Or the lawn mowing videos.
Oh, where the guy goes out and he like helps the people that like have never they haven't mowed their lawn or taken care of their lawn.
I can't even talk about it. It's so good.
I'm like, it's very satisfying and also, I mean, good-hearted too.
Yeah.
So.
And if you guys need a lawnmower, we sell them at Mountain Land Supply.
Yep. Yeah. Just get a hold of Brian Nuttall.
That's right.
And he'll take care of you. So there's one little plug for you.
Shameless plug.
That we need to have.
All right. So without further ado, let's jump into kind of probably what you guys have listened to us banter for the last 10 minutes on. Brandon, what is our share price looking like this year?
So do we have a drum roll? Spencer, can you give us? Oh, there we go. We got Joey doing it.
There you go.
So last year, so just to remind everybody, it's as of July 31st that we get our evaluation done. So July 31st of 2022, which was last year, our share value was, Joey, remember?
89 cents.
89 cents. So this year we went through the valuation process again, thanks to our finance team. Thank you guys. We love you guys. They went through it. We got it back. We had our board approve it. They were good with it. And so as of July 31st, 2023, went from 89 cents to $1.
Bang biscuit.
$1. Now, some of you might think that's weird. I agree with you.
It's exactly $1. We didn't cook the books. Chill out.
Yeah, it was one of those. To be honest with you, when I got the report, when I got a preliminary copy of it, and I'm like, serious?
Like, can we be like 1.021
or 99 cents or 101 or 102?
Nope.
I'm like, $1 just seems weird, but and I actually brought it up with them. I'm like, serious? And they're like, well, that's the number.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, it's the
I'm
number.
not going to argue with you.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah.
And I was like, but really, $1. So it's $1, and this is great timing for this because what you're going to find out is soon, by the time you're listening to this, we're going to be seeing statements probably in the next week or two. I'm hoping.
Yeah,
I got my fingers crossed.
By mid-January, we should. Yeah.
Kim McClaws has done a phenomenal job. I know she's right in the thick of it right now. She's trying to get that, and she pushes really hard on principle to get those sent out to you. But then she starts her tour, and hopefully, we'll be able to go to a few of those, be able to attend, and you can talk to us about that. But she's going to start doing that, going over your statements. But you'll see that reflected in there, which is going to be phenomenal. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's an awesome increse. It really is. I mean,
I think it equates to what, about 12%?
Yeah.
I think it was 12, 13%.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And in this kind of economy right now, to be honest with you, talking to other businesses and what they've been seeing, other ESOPs and what they've been seeing, some of them have seen some decreases, flatline. For us to be able to see that kind of an increase, I was actually, I wouldn't say surprised because I knew it was going to be something. We kind of have a gut feel about where we think it's going to be. I had a gut feel that it was going to be up, but you just don't know because sometimes those financial guys, the valuation guys, they just go off on tangents and you're just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So you never know until you actually see the report. And so I was excited about it. I'm happy about it. It's not what we saw in the pandemic, but we know that things have changed from the pandemic. We're getting back to our normal pre-pandemic profits and also growth. So that's something it was expected.
Yeah.
I guess is probably the best way to describe it. It's what we were expecting.
Yeah.
It's nothing that totally surprised me. It's what we expected.
Well, that I think is the comfortable thing for me is that we're getting back to some predictability.
Oh my gosh.
So
Thank you.
This is awesome.
Yes. Yeah. Being able to forecast and be able to understand it a little bit better, and it will be, instead of being reactive, we're going to be proactive.
Yep.
So I'm really excited for that for the next year or so.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thanks, Brandon.
Yep.
And
thanks.
Thank you guys for jumping in and coming along on a little bit of windshield time, and we will see you down the road.
Yep. Have a good one, everyone.
See you guys.